Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the Fema camp. Really? Ha ha ha! The new Trump plan.
Here, 90% of you guys out there will go to a FEMA camp willingly. And I'm going to give out my reasons here right now. For most part, it's just lack of education on the subject. A lot of people will throw out the word conspiracy theory and all this garbage. But you know what? It comes down to, it really comes down to something really basic. A lot of people just follow what the government says, definitely in a time of crisis, and especially if you guys are poor, don't have anything, you guys are just going to feed right into the narrative. They want you to be fed, and then you're going to go to one of these camps. FEMA camps, and then from there on out it's going to be an absolute hellish nightmare. And what would cause all this? It would be some kind of disaster or hoax disaster that they pull off. And why do they want to do this? Well, depopulation, control, power, the old, same old, same old. They're not worried about money, guys, because they can print money from nothing. They own the printing presses, so it's a joke. And all this debt the country's in doesn't seem to matter, especially when Donald Trump is pumping out. Well, he's not. He's going to just print off some more money, increase the military budget. And remember, guys, a lot of that money is definitely going to be going to, upgrades of your guys' military and so forth. But it's also going to go to a lot of black projects, off-the-book projects, FEMA projects, like FEMA camps. Alrighty, guys, we're back. So, getting into the FEMA camps, it's an older show now. It was called Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. They went and did a bunch of investigations. One of the investigations was on FEMA camps. And Mr. Alex Jones joined Jesse on that particular episode. And they actually visited a real-life black site FEMA camp. What did they discover? They discovered a lot. And they found large plastic coffin containers which I'll throw some pictures up here for you guys. And basically, these containers would fit roughly a family of 4 per container. There were thousands of these set up behind, near train tracks and behind a fence with barbed wire. But they got in somehow because there was an opening, and they were checking these things out. And after the episode aired on television, well, that's when basically the people in charge panicked. They got exposed, and they proceeded to pull the episode permanently from the TV waves. And there was lawsuits filed. His show was later canceled, and they were told to do more goofy investigations, which would in turn help cancel the television show because the ratings would drop. And it was insane, guys. You guys can look it up. It's on YouTube somewhere. Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura, FEMA camps. Search that up. Check it out. See exactly what we're talking about. And it's out there, guys. This is not... It's not conspiracy, guys. It's not a theory. It's factual. They were there. They filmed it. They got their show taken off the air. They got lawsuits, etc., etc. So, how is this able to go on inside a government legally? Oh, it's legally. They can do it because it's the federal government. They just classify everything as a need to know. It's what do they call that? Military preparedness. No, it's not really military preparedness, but it's some kind of quote in there, some kind of weird lawyer talk. Anyway, 90% of you guys are gonna, unfortunately, turn yourselves over willingly to these camps. In these camps, what do you expect these coffins to be for? Probably not just as a decoration piece around the yard. And if they can fit, and there's basically specially designed coffins that hold a lot of bodies. Roughly 4 to 5 bodies per coffin is the estimation. There, in one of my photos I showed a guy was laying down inside of one. And you could easily, depending on how heavy each person is that you put inside, as in their weight and mass, you could easily get 4 or 5 people in there and a ton of kids into one of these coffins. Think about that, guys. You want your family and kids stuffed in one of these with a bunch of random people. The sick part is about this, well, guess what? I think the government was thinking, well, hey, let's build these coffins. They'll fit roughly a family of 4 on average. At least the family will be buried together, right? Easier for processing. The other thing I wanted to touch on, why you guys would go willingly to the FEMA camps, lack of education. I want to get into that a little bit. So, you may have heard the term prepper, survivalist, preparedness on the internet, and most people will give you the usual garbage on that. All these people are crazy, they're in a cult, whatever, or it's another conspiracy theory. Well, guess what? The people who are preppers, survivalists, homesteaders will take care of themselves and will not willingly go to a FEMA camp if they're educated. They'll have everything they need at their fingertips. They won't be having their hand out begging at the government gates to get into one of these for the government to provide for them. Sure, one of these camps, hey, maybe you got a place to sleep and some food, but for how long? And what do the government want in return? Anybody remember concentration camps? Yeah, just look at history, guys. History repeats itself. When the government gets out of control and they want to stay in power, guess what's going to happen? They're going to do whatever they can in order to keep that power. And that's just the way it is. And they got an agenda anyway. They want to depopulate the planet because of global warming, which I myself I don't believe in it at all. it is springtime here in Canada, and it's still free. We still got frost on the ground, guys. It's freaking cold out. I got a toque on. See that? If we get any moisture coming around our area, it will snow. That's how cold it is, all right? And we're beyond, like, we're into spring by a good week or two. So, whatever. That's probably got something to do with this grand solar minimum, but that's another video for another time. I'll get back into it in a bit. Let's talk about tactics the government may use.
Welcome to the new wild world of the wacky Trump.